As with many competitive games, and perhaps even more so with a card game that does not have set rotation, the yugiohtcg is no stranger to power creep. In fact, it has existed since day one. Today we will be explaining a recent example of card design power creep in Yu-Gi-Oh! And how it is primarily used by Konami to improve sales. Ash Blossom and Joy Spring is an infamous hand trap monster that has been a main deck staple since its release in Maximum Crisis during May of 2017, fetching upwards of $60 for many months. A potential Mega 10 reprint was a year and 3 months away at that point. Banking on this, Konami used Ash Blossom to sell Legendary Collection Kaiba during March 2018 and Shadows in Valhalla during August 2018. With Shadows in Valhalla dropping 2 weeks before the highly anticipated Megatons, and with the set being primarily carried on the backs of the Ash Blossom and Invocation reprints, there was no way Konami would reprint Ash again in the Megatons, tanking the sales of Shadows in Valhalla, which was already mostly a flop of a set. The catch though was that Ash was a tough card to pull from LCKC, and the short print in Shadows in Valhalla, and the reprint was still fetching around $30. Soon, news had come in from the OCG revealing that Ash Blossom would, to everyone's surprise, be reprinted as a structure deck common in the upcoming Soulburner structure deck. TCG players scoffed at the prospects of this carrying over to the TCG, as Konami would rarely ever print such a highly sought after card as a guaranteed pull in a pre-constructed deck. Days before the structure deck had dropped in the TCG during February of 2019, the leaks had confirmed it. Ash Blossom, the card that had been milked for sales by Konami for nearly 2 years at this point, was finally becoming accessible to a mass audience. The Soulburner structure deck sold like hotcakes, and that common reprint fetches upwards of $17 on TCG Player as of this recording. However, as the saying goes, when one leaves, another swiftly comes in to take its place, and the same applies to Yu-Gi-Oh! Barely a month after the Ash reprint, Konami debuted a preview card in the Extreme Force Special Edition, one that was eventually released in the upcoming main set Flames of Destruction, Called by the Grave, a new quick play spell card. Essentially, it was Konami's way of saying, now that everyone has Ash Blossom, don't you want this new card that can counter it? Naturally, the Expo Special Edition sold really well, as everyone wanted a card that can negate hand traps like Ash Blossom, Effect Vader, Ghost Ogre, and many more. But what if there was a new powerful hand trap that could not be countered by Called by the Grave? Enter Infinite Impermanence, a secret rare trap card released in Flames of Destruction less than 2 months later. As a sought after high rarity card, it naturally fetched an exceptionally high price, and was one of the reasons Floods was one of the best selling sets of the year. I mean, you have to hand it to Konami. Without set rotation in place, this shrewd company has year after year found ways to sell us shiny new cardboard by introducing power creep in subtle and sometimes not so subtle ways. By the way, to this day, Infinite Impermanence has not yet received a widely available reprint in the way Ash Blossom did. More than 3 years later, the still $20 plus card, reprinted in a handful of side sets but never at a massive scale. However, the OCG has recently reprinted it in the Cyber Strike structure deck, which will be released this October in the TCG. If Konami does pull through and Infinite Impermanence is reprinted there, and it becomes widely available like Ash did, then what would Konami's next chase card that counters this be?
Next super rare is Drytron Delta. I'll taste. Oh, okay. Alright, Genesis Impact in here. Very interesting. Are you serious? They actually did it. They actually did it? Oh my god. Oh no. They've put it in here? The Ultras. Oh my god, dude. I am actually speechless.